Bob, looking forward for Ohio State this week, they've got UCLA and night game, but a night game is UCLA, whatever. I think Ohio State's like
it's going to be warm. Should be pretty nice. I know people usually don't like the November night games, which I'm generally not a huge fan unless it warrants it. I don't know if UCLA fully warrants being a night game, but I think from my understanding of it, the options were either play at Purdue at night or have UCLA at home at night. So,
really? That's what it was, huh?
From my understanding of how the situation works, so they would much rather have played a home game at night this weekend than played last weekend in front of probably like 30 people at Purdue by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Bob, is there I know we haven't gotten the official time yet for the Rutgers game, which will be the game before
3:30.
It will be 3:30?
Yeah, I think they announced that yesterday.
I know they said it'll be noon, 3:30 or 4. It won't be a night game, but I wasn't sure if they had announced the official time on that yet.
Yeah, it's the midday, whatever that time. I don't know if it's 4 or 3:30, but it's the midday slot.
And I remember famously Urban always said that he wanted a noon game before Michigan to get the extra few hours to prepare.
So they're at home. I mean, a noon game you actually can get some stuff done because you're back probably at the facility by 5 o'clock. You can go see your family, do some stuff, and get some work in. And Ryan's tinkered with the schedule a little bit. The thing is, since they moved this back, 10, 12 years ago, 13, whatever it is, since they pushed everything back, and it's no longer the week after, the week prior to Thanksgiving, it's the week after. That's added obviously the Thanksgiving element in there and some more stuff. So a lot of the Michigan traditions and what happens, it's like it's hard to kind of manage all of that through the week. So they've done some tinkering with the schedule and I think put stuff in a good spot to where now it doesn't make quite as big of a difference. You don't want a night game and you prefer to not be on the road. So they're at home. It's midday, so you'll at least be able to do some stuff that evening and you won't be exhausted heading into that final weekend.
What does Ohio State need to work on? What do they need to get to firm up, to get better at, to work on the next 2 weeks?
I think you looked at some of that in the game. I mean, there was some running game elements where they're just continuing to work on, develop that, working on some of their red zone efficiency and what they can do and their short yardage and goal line stuff. I mean, those have been packages that they've been trying to figure some stuff out, and they've thankfully been granted the opportunity to be kind of flexible with it because it's not an immediate concern because you're winning those games. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, they've been working on some things through there, and I think Ryan's just trying to figure out maybe where some of their shortcomings are and how they can improve them.
So, Bob, when I look at it and, transparently, looking at this realistically, Ohio State having a Heisman Trophy winner is good business, right? Fair?
For who?
For Ohio State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would that not be good business?
No, that's what I'm asking next, though. So we've established that it's good business. How would Ryan Day, how should the coaching staff balance that when it comes to playing time? Because we know that some voters look at stats, right? And that might dictate where their vote goes. So if Ohio State, let's say they get up by 40 points on UCLA in the first half, would you expect them, do you think Ohio State would keep Sayin and Jeremiah in the game maybe longer than they need to for statistical
40
reasons?
points in the first half?
Let's say they're up 42-0 at the half.
How many? Okay, so if they scored 42 points in the first half, I'm guessing those guys have enough stats that they can pull them. So they can pull them.
Okay. But if they don't have the stats, let's say it's because...
How did they score the points then?
Okay, let's say they got a couple of defensive touchdowns. Got a defensive touchdown.
Okay.
Bo Jackson ran for a couple. Maybe Sayin's thrown 2 touchdown passes, one to Smith, one to Tate.
Okay. Maybe you give them a series or 2 coming out.
Okay.
But that's it.
But
you're not going to put the season at risk for individual awards. Ryan's talked about that. Winning is the best thing because here's the real issue. As long as you need those guys healthy for the final week final 2 against Rutgers and Michigan.
Right.
Because the Heisman's going to probably be determined in the Big Ten championship game.
I would think, yes.
So you don't want to jeopardize any opportunity to get there or for your guy being able to play or play at his maximum ability there due to a nagging injury.
I wouldn't blame him, though. I would not blame Ohio State unless one of the guys got hurt. But I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
if
play results. That's always the best thing.
But
When
I'm
you're a
saying,
fan,
Bob, I started to say it.
why are you pulling guys out? Why were they in there?
I know. Look, Bob, we saw it happen with Jaden Daniels for Washington a couple weeks ago when he's in there at a 38-7. They were down 38-7 or whatever it was. They were losing.
I think it was 38-7.
That was okay. They were losing 38-7, and they kept him out there, and he got hurt.
Oh.
So yeah, then at that
Bruise on
point
the
it's like,
elbow.
right? But why in the hell is he out there playing? I don't know if it's predetermined going in. Like if Ryan Day knows ahead of time, look, if we're up by this much, these guys, whatever they are, or these people are coming out of the game, or is it more on a vibe thing? Is it more? I'm just curious what the thought process would be.
It's a game flow situation. Like you have an idea of what you would like to do,
right?
But every game is wholly unique. You can't go in there with a predetermined script on, hey, I'm going to get this guy out here and we'll play this guy more here. It's how the game feels and flows. You can prepare guys and say, hey, if the opportunity presents itself,
right,
then you know what, we'll be able to get you some playing time, and maybe in the second half we'll get that figured out. But yeah, there's no realm where you look at that and say, well, I'm going to pull this guy here regardless of what the situation is. Because it might be a game that you need to win. Ask Penn State about how that worked out.
As you watch this Ohio State team, and let's say that the point in the next 2 weeks, whatever, the UCLA game, the Rutgers game, where you've got to where you decide you're taking Sayin out because the game's out of control. It's outcomes decided. By the way, Ohio State could have scored 60 on Purdue if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have the capability to put 60 up on UCLA if they want to.
Probably.
So
I would say, yeah, there's that possibilities in there.
Okay, so whereas I think Ohio State, I don't want to say they played conservatively, but they did not.
I would use the term methodically.
Okay, methodically. Ooh. Would you rather have Ohio State, though, go out right now this week against UCLA and put as much as you can on them in the first half? Just to, and then you put the other guys in.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know if that's like a conscious effort, because the more you're doing that, the more you're exposing your defense, you're getting guys more reps. Now, if you're doing that in the effort to try to get guys out of the game,
right?
Possibly, but I don't know if that's ever been a huge point of emphasis for Ryan. I mean, they did that against Michigan State a couple of years ago and scored 49 on them in the first half.
Right.
But I don't know if the rules, here's the thing, the way they have the clock set up and everything,
now,
it's not quite as conducive to be able to do that. So there's other elements that come into play.
Is Lincoln Kienholz the other only quarterback who should get snaps in the next 2 weeks?
It depends how the game looks.
See, part of me wants to see Tavion out there a little bit, but I feel like Kienholz deserves.
He's deserved it. He earns it. And
he worked his ass off.
He's going to be the next guy in if something happened.
Right.
So you want to make sure that he's getting reps and he's staying ready. Obviously, he gets stuff in practice and does things.
Right.
And Tavion, rotates back and forth between the scout team and then going over and getting some reps. But yeah, he needs to be. You need Link ready to go.
Yes, but I think don't you think Lincoln's ready to go regardless? So, like Lincoln with how much?
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you need him ready.
Sure.
So you want to make sure you're getting him reps, and then also not worry about getting him hurt, because he is your backup quarterback, and that'll change your calculus a lot with what you do with Julian. Then, not that you're trying to play reckless, but when you have options, it allows you to do some things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do.